Hi there, and thanks for joining me for Senior Fitness Level 2. My name is Lucas Matthews. I'm an ACE certified group fitness instructor and a personal trainer, and I also got a specialty certification for senior fitness. I've been certified for about 4 years now, and I've been teaching classes for about half of that. And I just really found senior fitness to be my specialty just because that's who I work the best with, that's who most of my clients have been, and I figured that I can give you guys a really good program that's not going to be too much. So today is level 2 strength training. We're gonna get a good workout for our muscles, a little bit of a cardio pump, but we don't need any equipment for this, just your chair for balance if you need it. But level 2 means that we're gonna be out of the chair moving around. So you can have dumbbells, a pair of hand weights if you need them. Otherwise, you can have a water bottle nearby. I always recommend staying hydrated, but all you need today is your bodies and just following along with me. So how we're gonna start this is just by marching in place. So I started the timer, go ahead and start with me. Arms and legs. You can do these in the chair if you need, but it's gonna get a little bit tricky because we're gonna be moving our legs a little bit more. So make sure you connect to your breathing here, in and out. Find a nice steady rhythm. We're starting off really slow just to get the blood flowing, wake up our legs, wake up our hearts. So make sure you're pumping those arms and legs. We're going for 30 seconds and then we're going right into our next one, which is marching with high knees. So drive those knees up to about hip level, pump those arms, remembering to breathe the whole time. It's gonna be 2.5 minutes all together. We're gonna take a quick rest and then we're gonna repeat a little bit faster. So this is warming up those hip flexors, quads, knees, kind of getting a little bit of everything. So now what we're gonna do is keep driving those knees up. And at the top, just kick. So drive it up and kick, drive it up and kick. Still pumping arms and legs. And again, make sure your knees up first and then you kick. So don't bring your legs straight up in front because that's the next one. Breathing in and out, steady pace. Make sure you're not going too fast or too slow. You're getting your heart rate up, but we don't want to be out of breath just yet. So now we're doing the ones that I told you not to do, which is legs straight up. I like to have one arm to set a standard of how high I'm bringing my leg up. So you can have both arms out like this, or you can just have one arm out, or you can even just have your hands right here on your hips. Again, connect yourself with your breathing. It's easy to forget and sort of slack off with that. All right, so now we're going into glute kicks. So I'm gonna turn around, show you what that looks like. You're just balancing on one foot, bring your heel up towards your glutes. I like to curl my arms up as I do these. Otherwise, you can keep your hands right there on your hips. You can have them out in front. You can always use your chair for balance. Just listening to your body, doing what's comfortable for you. All right, that's 2.5 minutes, so go ahead and stop. Kind of shake your legs out a little bit. We're gonna pick up the pace, move that a little bit faster. Take a few deep breaths. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now we're marching fast. So not too crazy fast. It's not like we're running or anything, but we're just marching, picking our feet up, pumping our arms. Nice steady rhythm. A little bit faster than the warm-up. You don't have to be going exactly as fast as I'm going, but go at a rhythm that's hard. It should be tough to finish this 2.5 minutes. Just push it, pace yourself, but try to have that up rhythm, and now drive those knees up. Breathing. It's really important when we start to go faster and get into our more challenging exercises that we keep breathing steadily, in and out. Pushing it for the full time. You gotta hold yourself accountable. Make sure those knees are getting up. Make sure you're going fast. And start adding in those kicks. So be careful with these. Since you're balancing on one leg, you have your chair there for balance if you need. Just make sure it feels right on your knees, on your hips, loosening up It's hamstrings, quads. It's almost more of a stretch, but definitely getting that heart rate up, starting to sweat a little bit. Keep going, and switch. Straight leg raises. Always like to use my arm, but remember you can have your hands on your hips for balance, up, whatever you prefer. I always like to say, listen to your body. Anything is too much, if anything is painful, just go ahead and switch. Slow it down, or just take a rest. We're getting there. Almost to the last one. Starting to get heated up a little bit, and ready, set, glute kick it. 30 seconds, hold yourself accountable, don't slow down now. Strong to the finish line. Remember, doing what's comfortable for you. We're really trying to stretch out our quads here. So if you can almost give your booty a little bit of a kick there with your heel. Otherwise, just do the range of motion that works for you. All right, go ahead and stop. Take a few deep breaths, grab a drink of water. I'm gonna open up the back door. It's already heated up, starting to sweat a little bit, which is good. You don't have to be sweating, but you should be warm by now. If not, that means we need to go a little bit faster in the future. So very similar to what we just did, we're gonna work on the legs and hips a little bit, work on strengthening the muscles, but also going with a nice cardio rhythm here. So stand to one side of your chair. You can have your hand down if you need help with balance, otherwise you can have it up. Make sure you have good room in front and behind, and go ahead and start swinging your legs. So I'm actually gonna open that so I have room and so that you can still see me. Go ahead and start. We're going for 30 seconds. Just out in front, back behind, nice and slow, just like we did the warm up. Not too fast to start, something that you can go and pick it up the pace a little bit, but it shouldn't be easy. You shouldn't feel like you can go all day. If that's the case, then just go a little bit faster. We're stretching out our hips, feeling the quads, hamstrings, starting to feel that little bit of a burn. Now go ahead and step back and come sideways, out to the side and cross over, out to the side, cross over. Remember, if you want to work on balance, have one hand towards the sky. It's tricky since you're moving so much. But again, connect yourself to your breathing. Steady breath in and out. Go for 30 seconds. Make sure you're staying consistent with your pace. And switch, other side. So straight out in front, back behind, swinging. You can throw your arms into it like I am, but you don't have to. You can keep one or two hands down, one or two hands up. So you should really be feeling those hip flexors. Good stretch, it shouldn't be painful. We're starting to feel our quads, glutes, hamstrings, a little bit of everything. So now slide back and sideways. Coming out, crossing over, but you're swinging with it, so you're actually using momentum to stretch out a little bit. Breathing through all of your movements. It's so easy to start to hold your breath without trying to. So you have to force yourself to stay accountable to breathing in and out. All right, switch back. Same thing, but let's go a little bit faster. So swinging, swinging, swinging. You have to force your legs to move a little bit faster. You should be feeling a little bit better of a stretch. That stance leg's gonna start to burn a little bit. That's all good, that's what we're going for. But again, listen to your body, do what's best for you. 5 more seconds. And slide back. Swing out and over, out and over. Make sure it's not gonna be hurting your knees, hurting your hips. Should only be a burn. That sort of sensation in your muscles that's telling you it's working. If it's ever pain or pulling, then just do a little bit less. Not as big of movements like I'm doing here. It's all up to you to decide what your range of motion is. Right plant, other side, swing, front to back, front to back. Breathe. But remember, it's round 2, so we're pushing it a little bit. It's not an easy pace. It's not crazy hard, but it's definitely doable for at least the 30 seconds. Almost there. And slide back, crossover, and swing out. So without the chair, this is what it looks like. With the chair just out in front, using it for balance. Keep going. Almost there. Then we'll go into some of our harder exercises. All right, go ahead and stop. Grab a quick drink if you need. And go ahead and have a seat at the front edge of your chair. So we just worked on the hips, on the legs a little bit, a lot of cardio. What we're gonna really work on now is strengthening all those leg muscles and building up our core with some functional training. So for any of these exercises, you wanna make sure that you're listening to your posture. So you don't wanna round your back, you don't wanna crane your neck, you don't wanna be too far forward on your toes. You wanna have a good balance. So I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see what I mean by that. So we're not leaning too far forward for any of these, we're not rounding the back, we're not arching the back, we're keeping our head and neck neutral. We're just gonna start off with some squats. So your feet are shoulder width distance apart, hands right here for support, or up in the air if you want to challenge yourself, and we're just pushing all the way up to standing, and then all the way back down to sitting. All the way up to standing, all the way back down. I'm pushing up with my heels so that I'm protecting my knees. So we're gonna do tempo work again, but we're gonna increase the times a little bit and slow down the reps. So we're doing 45 seconds of each movement, but we're moving a little bit slower to really focus on the muscles, not the cardio. So ready, set, push all the way up and all the way down. All the way up, all the way down. You can hang on to your weight here if you want more of a challenge. You can sort of use your hands to push up a little bit only if you need to, because we're really trying to train the legs here, not the arms. So your hands are only here if you need. Otherwise, they're up. They're on your hips, out in front. Everyone's a little bit different in what they prefer, but we all need to have our cores engaged. We all need to push with our heels. But listen to yourself, find a way to do that that works best for you. All right, 5 more seconds, then we're gonna switch them up, make them a little bit harder. Let's come all the way down. Starting from the bottom, what you're gonna do is push halfway up and pause, and then come all the way back down. Push halfway up and pause, all the way down. Same posture, ready, set, and go. Same thing, we're doing 45 seconds, nice and slow. You're pushing halfway up out of your chair, feeling those muscles working, and then relaxing down. Out and in. You wanna push the breath out as you hold those core muscles in, and then inhale back as you come down. And in, watch your posture. So your back is flat, your neck is neutral, we're not craning it up or looking down. Just have a nice equilibrium in our body. Breathe. We're getting there. We have one more in this sequence. It's gonna be really challenging, then we're gonna switch it up a little bit. All right. So now what I'm gonna have you do is push all the way up to standing. Find that good posture where your feet are shoulder width distance apart. Core is engaged, and now we're coming down till we're almost touching, holding it for a second and pushing up. So with this one, the lower you go, the harder it is. If you come all the way down here like I am, that's really hard. That's too much. Just come like this far, hold it, and push up. So listen to your body. We're going for 45 seconds. Ready, set, and go. Sink down, hold, push up. And breathe in. Since we're really exerting ourselves here, that's when we breathe out. And then we can breathe in all the way to the top. Come down, hold those core muscles in. Push up, doing good. As long as you're trying, as long as you're working those core muscles, as long as you're trying to be better than yourself than you were last time, you're doing amazing. All just comes down to your accountability. Don't worry about what I'm doing or anyone else is doing except for yourself. And come all the way up, shake your legs out, give it a quick breather, and we're gonna come to one side as we advance this sequence. So you just time to breathe. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video, take an extra breather. There's nothing wrong with that. Just as long as you keep moving, getting through everything, and just try to advance and progress each time you exercise. So we're gonna work single leg a little bit. Your chair is here for balance if you need. You're gonna take one step forward and one step back. So what that looks like is you take a step forward with your outside leg, step back with your inside leg, so you're in a good one leg split squat stance. And then what we're gonna do is just sink down and press up. Sink down and press up. So get ready, make sure your positioning is comfortable. Core is in again, and go. 45 seconds. Sink down, push up. That chair is there for balance if you need it. Just make sure it's stable. So if you're using the arm like I am, make sure it's not going to topple over. Otherwise, you can have your hands up towards the sky, on your hips, out in front, or right here on your knee. Above your knee, I should say. You don't ever want to have it right on the knee. Keep moving. The further down you go, the harder it's going to be. Make sure you don't hit that knee on the ground. So the lowest you should go is till where your knee is almost touching, but not quite. Keep moving. And push up. Stop. Shake out those legs. That's a hard one. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of room for this next one. We're going to do something very similar, but we're going to come out to the side. So you're going to start standing. Let's go right here to the center of our chair. Take a big step out to the side and a little bit in front. Come down and then press up. You can have your chair there for balance if you need, like right there. But I just want to make sure you guys can see what the movement looks like. It's basically just a side lunge with your chair for support. All right, so get ready, set, go. Big step, up and out, sink down, press back, pause, go into it again. We're just doing one side at a time. Notice I'm bending my back knee a little bit. That's so I'm not putting any awkward positioning on that knee, but I'm just moving through them. Again, good core engagement, neutral neck. Just a lot of things to constantly think about that translates directly over into your everyday life. Almost there. Keep pushing. It's tempting to stop when we get to those last few seconds, but that's when you want to push through. Now we're coming over to the other side. So again, take a quick breather here. Pause the video if you need a little bit longer of a rest or if you need more water. We're going to get through this side, then we're going to take a nice break together. All right, so outside leg, steps forward. Inside leg, steps back. Hands on your hips, front knee, or chair, whatever works best. And get ready, set, go. 45 seconds, sinking straight down and pushing up. So don't come forward like this, just come straight down, press up tall. Straight down, press up tall. Core muscles are engaged. I say this is a core sequence, which it is, but it only is if you focus on bringing those core muscles in. If you're trying to squeeze into a wetsuit, how you would pull those muscles in, you have to force yourself to do that. And you have to hold them tight. Eventually it becomes second nature, but you really have to think about it and train your body to do that. And it has so many good areas of your life that's going to help out. Oh, we're almost there. Stop. Shake out your legs. Having a strong core means good back health, it means a good posture, and it means healthy knees and hips down the road. These are challenging ones. All right, so we're coming out to the side next. If you remember what these look like, big step, out, come down, press up to standing, out, down, and up. We can do it, almost there, ready, set, go. This is gonna be the last one in this sequence. Then we're resting, just repeating once. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. The chair is always there for balance if you need. Your balance will get better just by doing these because we're working single legs and we're working our core. But it's always good to have that extra support. Breathe through these. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Just push through till I say when. Feel those muscles, not those joints. And stop. Ooh, shake out those legs. Find your way back to a seated position or just stay standing. But we'll take a nice 90-second rest. Just take our time to breathe. When we're resting, that doesn't mean we're slacking off. It just means we're recovering. So I recommend just sitting up tall, maybe stretching out a little bit, stretching out your legs. Just doing something, making sure we're not slouching because that's reinforcing bad habits. But make sure you get water. Staying hydrated is important, not just in your exercise, but it helps to boost your immune system, which nowadays we really got to be careful about. So having that extra water is going to help flush everything out, rehydrate your body, help you heal up, and just make sure you're staying healthy. So we've got about 45 more seconds. Remember, you're doing what works best for you. So if this is too much rest, skip forward. If it's too little rest, pause. But just at the end of the day, keep a mental note on yourself. Are you doing the same amount every time you work out? Or are you trying to move a little bit faster, do a little bit less rest, move more to get more reps, adding a little weight? Just make sure we're always progressing. That way we're getting stronger and we're not hitting any plateaus. All right, so we have our squats 3 ways. It's the full squat, and then the halfway up, and then the halfway downs. So remember with these, your feet are planted out in front, shoulder width distance apart, core is engaged the whole time. So it's not as tight as you can possibly have it, but it's engaged a little bit so that you can't really round or arch your back without letting go. So keep those muscles in. That's how you should always be starting your squats. And we're going for 45 seconds all the way up. So ready, set, let's do it. Push all the way up, standing tall, all the way down. You can really reinforce good posture here by just thinking about your core being tall through the neck and just making sure you're not hunching or arching your back. May feel a little bit awkward at first because we're so used to how we do things originally, but we're kind of retraining our body here to have better posture and better form. It's something that we do every single day. Remember, go at the pace that works for you, but we're not going too fast with these. Right, stop, rest at the bottom for just a second. Then we're coming halfway up, pausing and relaxing down. All right, let's do it. Ready, set, go. Halfway up and down. Halfway up, pause it for a second. Engage those core muscles, relax down. So the lower you are, the harder these are. So if it's too much, come up a little bit higher. That's all right. Like right here, that's gonna be a little bit easier. Just try to fight the temptation to come all the way up to standing, because then you're basically just doing the one we just did. For support if you need, you can sort of push with your hands, but we're really trying to work the legs and the core here. So really try your best to focus on your legs and focus on your core and not rely on those arms. All right, there it is. Last one, and probably the hardest one. Let's start standing up tall, shake out your legs a little bit, and then remember, you're sinking down as far as you can, pushing up. If it's too much, you can just come back down to seated, but we're really trying to work on using our muscles to resist and hold ourselves up instead of using the chair. All right, let's knock it out. Ready, set, go. So sink down, hold, push up. Sink down, hold, push up. Core is engaged. We're pushing up through the heels. Our knees aren't coming too far forward, and we're also not leaning too far forward. Again, it's a lot to think about. It's sort of a complicated movement that shouldn't be, because it's just standing up. But if you reteach your body to do this right, and you really hold yourself accountable, it'll translate so well over to your everyday life. Helps out everything. So close. Last one. All right, come up. Take your time working to the side of your chair. Let's take a few deep breaths. And then we're doing our split squats. So remember, it's your outside leg that comes forward, inside leg that comes back. You want to have a good distance. You're up on your toes for this one. And your knees, the positioning of your knees is really important. Make sure this knee doesn't come forward, and make sure this knee doesn't come out or isn't at any awkward angles. When you come down, you want to have this knee right below you and this knee right above your heel. All right, let's find that spot. And ready, set, go. So come down and press up. Come down and press up. Remember to breathe through all of your movements. Out and in. It's really important. I know I say that a lot, but when you can teach yourself these things and you're constantly thinking about it, then your body will change and it will adapt over time. But you have to remind yourself, you have to forgive yourself when you mess up. Keep going. All right, stop. Come over to the side. So we're coming out to this side, big step out, coming down, pressing back up to standing. Again, I'm going to show you what it looks like without the chair, but make sure you have the chair nearby. So that's what your side lunges are looking like. Coming down as low as you can. So if you're just basically doing this, that's fine, as long as that's what's challenging for you. All right, let's do it. Ready, set, go. Push out, sink down, push up. Push out, sink down, push back up. I have my hand up, but you can have your hand on your chair. Just make sure it's in a place, or you're in a place where you can use it if you need it. I just like you to be able to see my body a little bit, so it's a little easier to know what this exercise should look like. So tough ones, but it's something we really do in everyday life is we take weird steps. We use one leg at a time, and we use our core to stabilize. Go ahead and stop. So all these exercises will translate directly over into things you do in everyday life. That's why I really like this sequence here. All right, come to the side. Remember, it's your outside leg that comes forward, inside leg back, and go. Breathe. Just stay focused, stay with it. This is probably the hardest thing we do in our exercise today. Gets a lot easier after this. So just stay focused on your goals. Think about how good it feels to be a little bit stronger and to notice those changes. And just think about that when you're tired. You may want to give up. Just think about how good it feels and how important it is to have those strong muscles and a strong heart. And stop. Shake out those legs. Last one. Let's knock it out. So remember, big step out, sink down, press up. On your marks, get set. Let's wrap these up. Step out, sink down, push up. Step out, sink down, push up. So again, you're just always listening to your body, keeping a mental tab. Start with your core, then focus on your legs, on your knees, and then focus on your breathing. Just constantly thinking about these things ensures that you're doing the best for your body. You're not doing anything that's going to make you uncomfortable or risk injury or anything like that. And last one, go ahead and come to the top. Whew. Shake those legs out. Find your way back to your chair. Grab a drink of water. Good work. Those are no joke. So we're gonna focus on the upper body next, but again, we're gonna take a nice little rest here. Just remember, you can pause it, you can fast forward through the rest if you want. Just make sure that you're giving yourself enough time, but not too much. It's really tempting to want to give yourself like 5 minutes of recovery time, but that kind of erases the cardio benefits of it, which we're trying to get a little bit of both in there. So try to take about a minute to a minute and a half, and then we're gonna focus on the arms. Again, some sort of functional stuff that we do in everyday life. You can have your weights handy if you want to use them for some of our lifts that we're going to do, but just using your hands will be enough. All right, so you want to be about halfway forward on your chair, so not quite all the way at the front unless you want to make this one challenging, but I'll kind of give you the cues and adjustments as you need. So what we're basically going to do is just work on pushing ourselves up with our arms this time and then coming down. So a couple different variations right here. Me using the arms of the chair is a lot harder than if I place them right here on the seat because you can't really push yourself up as much. But if this is too hard, then have your hands here and do them that way. Otherwise, you can have your feet out in front. If you really want to challenge yourself, that makes it a lot harder. Just make sure you're not pushing with your legs, kind of counterintuitive to what we just did, but you're pushing with your arms. All right, so we got 45 seconds. Again, we're gonna kind of progress through a sequence, and that'll take us towards the end. So, feet planted, you're in the position that you wanna be, and go. Push yourself up, relax down. Push yourself up, relax down. This is what the harder version looks like. You can't really use your legs at all, so it has to be all arms, chest, and shoulders. But again, posture, so your core muscles are drawn in. Your neck is neutral. We're not crunching into our neck like this, but we're just staying neutral. Pushing up high, relaxing down. 15 more seconds. That's why we don't want to go too fast with these. It's really easy to wear yourself out quickly. And push up and down. Good. All right, so you're gonna push yourself all the way up to a standing position. There's a couple different ways we can do this next one. You can use your wall. You can use your chair. That's what I'm gonna use. Or if you really want to get ambitious, you can do these on the floor. We're basically just doing modified push-ups. So if you want to use your chair like I'm gonna use, make sure it's gonna be stable. Have your hands out in front. Walk your feet back. And make sure you have a straight line from your heels all the way up to the top of your head. So what that means is we're not down like this, we're not up like this, but we just have a solid line. Make sure your chair is not gonna move, and we're just coming down and pressing up. If you're doing these on the wall, make sure you can see me here. You're just coming down, pressing up, just you'd have both hands on the wall. Just want to make sure you can see me there. All right, so we're gonna start the first version. Our arms are out to the side like this. Make sure you don't have a sketchy chair like I have. Seriously, make sure something that's gonna be stable, or just use the wall. I'm just gonna shut the door and use the door. Just looks like this, but I trust you to make the right decision. All right, so let's do it. 45 seconds, ready, set, go. So down and up, down and up. Pushing with your chest muscles, arms come out to the side. Your back is flat, neck is relaxed. So again, we're not like this. Our hips aren't down, but we have a solid foundation for our upper body. And we're just going at the rhythm. That's challenging. Working your muscles, but not too fast or too slow. Push it. You gotta push yourself with all these, literally and figuratively. Just remembering to breathe. 5 more seconds. All right, stop, come to the top. So we're basically gonna do the same thing, but this time we're gonna bring our arms down. So we have our arms tucked by our side and we're doing our push-ups this way. It's a little bit harder. We're working the back of the arms and the shoulders a little bit more than the chest this time. So get ready, set, and go. Arms down, press yourselves up. So force your arms to stay tucked into your body. They're gonna wanna come out, so force them in. Push through that burn. If it gets hard, walk your feet a little bit closer. The further out your feet are, the harder these are going to be. So find the version that's challenging but effective for you. Just 10 more seconds. Again, you got to push yourself through that burn. When you want to stop, just try to get a few more in, because we're so close. Before you know it, it'll be over. So stop, work your way back to your chair, shake out those arms a little bit. And for our last ones, we're gonna use just our arms or weights if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, but we're gonna work on our posture here. So your arms come out in front to start, and you're gonna pull and squeeze back, pushing your elbows together, squeezing those upper back muscles right there, holding it, and then reaching back out in front. So pull and squeeze, and then come back to the front. I'm gonna turn sideways one more time just so you can see what that looks like here on my back. Squeezing like this, relaxing back out in front. All right, let's do it. Ready, set, go. 45 seconds. Squeeze, relax. Squeeze, relax. You should be feeling your lats right here. That's your upper back muscles. You'll feel your traps, your shoulders a little bit. Make sure you're not crunching into your neck, but your neck stays neutral as we do these. If you want to hold weights and do them, it's a good way to add a little bit more of a challenge in. Breathe, exhale, and inhale back in. And in. And in. Keep going. Almost there. Just holding your arms up will get tiring, so stop. Bring your arms down for a second. And now we're going to have them up overhead. We're going to reach and hold and then lower down. So go ahead and start. Reach and hold, lower down. Make sure your core is engaged and you're sitting up tall. So don't slouch back. Don't hunch your back. Just reach up and hold and relax down. This one gets surprisingly hard after the first 15 seconds or so, especially after doing those ones we just did. Push through that burn. Feel those shoulder muscles working. And just keep them nice and slow. If we go too fast, that actually makes them less effective. 5 more seconds. All right, stop. Lower your arms. We're gonna go into these fast. Last two are just gonna be shoulder circles. Go in each direction, but we're keeping them really small. So just go ahead and start with me. Go. So keep them small and slow. It's tempting to want to go really fast with them, but we're just going one direction, nice and slow. It's a hard one, again, after those two that we just did. But just push through that burn. Stay focused, breathe, sit up tall. Fight through it. 15 more seconds. Almost to the finish line. Just gotta repeat this one more time, and then we'll stretch out. All right, stop. Rest your shoulders for just a second. Go back up real quickly and reverse it. So make sure you get both directions. I don't remember which one I just did, but make sure you get each direction forwards and then backwards for each 45-second period. It's really tricky, but if you just stay focused, breathe, sit upright, find something else to think about and focus on, it's amazing how quickly you're at the finish line. You gotta hold yourself accountable. Every time you want to give up, just push a little bit longer. As long as you're not hurting or feeling painful or ridiculously out of breath, then you're fine. And stop. Bring those arms down. Shake them out a little bit. Roll them out. We're taking a rest. Getting some water. And then we just have one more. Same exact sequence. That'll take us to the end. All right. So remember, we're starting by just pushing ourselves up. You can have your hands on your seat or on the arms. Just make sure you're not pushing with your legs, but you're pushing with your arms. Good posture in your core, good posture on your neck. Going for 45 seconds. Ready, set, go. So this is our last round. You might be tired, you're probably feeling a little bit sore or a little bit of that muscle fatigue. So now is when it's really important to hold yourself accountable to staying with your exercises, continuing to move, continuing to breathe, just forcing yourself to not give up early, not quit on yourself, because really the only person you're cheating is yourself. And if you really want to make the most of these workouts, just every time, stay focused, push through to the very end, and don't cheat yourself out of those last couple of reps. Right, stop. Push yourself up. Remember, you have the wall, or you have your chair, as long as it's sturdy, or you have the floor if you really want to push yourself. But we're doing our push-ups with our arms out first. So we have a flat back, we come down, and we push ourselves up. Ready, set, go. Arms out, push out in front. Arms out, push up. So the further back our legs are, the harder this one is. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, bring your arms or your legs in, excuse me. Try to focus here on using your chest muscles, so your pecs right here, to push yourself up. This one is more of a chest one. The next one we do is more of an arm exercise. We have 10 more seconds. Breathing, push out. As you come up, in, out. Stop for a second at the top. You might want to reposition for this one because it is a little bit harder. And then your arms stay down, and we're doing the same thing with our arms down. All right, let's knock them out. Go. So keep those arms tucked back. Press yourself up. And just move at a nice steady pace. Breathing through your whole routine. Your breath gives you power with exercises like this. If you can use it to Really leverage yourself. It's amazing how much stronger it makes you. So that's just another good reason to think about your breathing. And it also helps you focus a little bit less on how tired you are or the fatigue or anything else. Good. Stop. And we have those overhead ones. One more time. So find your seat. Sit up tall. Don't slouch with these. If you catch yourself slouching, just force yourself to sit back up tall. All right, let's do it. Arms out in front first. Ready, set, squeeze, hold, and reach. Squeeze, hold, and reach. Squeezing those upper back muscles, holding them together, and reaching back out in front. You want to exhale, and then inhale. And in. Out, and in. If you focus more on feeling your lats, those bigger muscles in your back, it actually takes some of the pressure off your shoulders. It's a good concept to have your bigger muscles doing the work in everyday life, not the smaller ones. All right, stop. Relax those arms for just a second. To really make this effective, we want to go right into them. So ready, set, reach, and relax. For these ones, actually, you just want to have your arms straight up. You don't want to bring your hands together unless you have to. Just arms straight up, hold, and relax. So it's ideal for this sequence to take as little rest as possible. Just for these shoulder ones, makes them a lot more effective. To be constantly having your arms up like this, it's amazing how much it'll build up your shoulders to just be reaching overhead repetitively. Just find your breath. 5 more seconds. You can do it. Try to get those last few reps in. And stop, relax for just a second. 2 more. Let's go right into them. Arms out. Little circles. Doesn't matter which way you start, which way you finish, just as long as you get both directions. And just breathe. Push through that burn. You gotta fight it. Every time you win, that's a small victory for yourself. That little bit of discipline is so important because that applies everywhere in your nutrition. Getting up in the morning makes all that a little bit easier. If you can just push yourself a little bit in your exercises, and then vice versa, you do it in everyday life, it makes it easier for your exercises. All right, stop. Just a second. Last one, out and circles. This will take us to the end, so we'll stretch out real quick. And then you'll be free to go take a nap. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Finish these, make these last ones count. Just keep those arms up, don't sink down, don't round your back. 15 more seconds, see if you can speed it up a little bit. That'll make it quick to the finish. Really finish this one with a bang. 5 more seconds, hang in there. 2, 1. All right, shake those arms out. If you were with me, or if you slowed it down, it's just as long as you did everything, you did a great job, and you should be proud of yourself. And just try to consistently work out, add exercise into your life, and then you'll notice that it's a little bit easier each time, so just try to progress and build upon the base that you're laying out right now. It's a great job. Let's stretch out. We'll reach our arms out in front, and then this is the time where you want to hunch your back, lean forward just a little bit, dip over to one side, reach up and across to the other side. Hold it there for a second, do one more on each. You should feel good stretch in your lats, in your shoulders and arms. Dip down, roll yourself back up, take a few shoulder circles. Big shrugging motion up, back and around, and reverse it. And then go ahead and reach your arms overhead like you just woke up in the morning. Push up high. dip down to one side just a little bit, come up tall again, dip down to the other side. Again, listen to your body, don't make your side, your spine, or anything uncomfortable. Push up, come down, reach across, hold under, and feel a good stretch here in your lats. Open back up, reach across the other side, dip under and hold. All right, shake those arms out. For our legs, we're gonna start straight out in front. Sit up tall, lean forward, drop your arms and hold. So especially if we have blood pressure issues, make sure we don't bring our head below our heart. So that's where we're just more leaning forward and just dropping our arms rather than dipping the head and reaching. And go ahead and switch. Leg out, sit up tall, lean, and drop. And with your stretches, it's really important to breathe as well with those, because that helps loosen up your muscles, that helps send the signal for your muscles to relax instead of staying tense. Go ahead and come up. We'll stand up tall for our last one. Use your chair for balance if you need. Reach back, you can grab your pants. You can use a towel for this one, or if you can, grab your foot, straighten your leg down by your side. Hold it there. And then switch, making sure we're getting both sides. Reach back, grab, straighten, and hold. So you're trying to keep this leg straight down by your side. If it's up or it's at a weird angle, then you're just trying to bring it down over time to be able to come down by your side here. But if it's out like that, or out in front, or just anywhere other than by your side, it means you have tight quads. So doing the stretch will help loosen them up. All right, great job. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna release a video every single week, either myself or one of my trainers. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work, stay strong, and stay moving during this interesting time.